Hey guys, this is the complete guide to surviving film school and college in general. And this is the video I wish I had seen before going into freshman year of college at USC Film School. Everything you're about to learn in this video was everything I learned through a whole year of trial and error, talking to different people and experiencing different things. So you're gonna learn everything in this video. So first, I wanna be talking about what you're gonna do the first month you get to campus, right? School just started. What do you do first, right? You get out of the car the second the plane lands, you're gonna start wanting to make friends with everybody. You wanna start building the connections immediately, and you're gonna want people to know your presence, right? You're gonna wanna build up a whole group of friends, and a great way to do that is you already have roommates, right? I think one of the most important friendships to have in college is with your roommates. You want to have a good relationship with them, or it does create a lot of drama and it makes your life a lot harder than it needs to be. So you're gonna want to build your community by joining clubs, joining different groups and activities. For me, I joined marching band, which was a great way to meet new people. You have like a section, it's like your family built in, because I mean you're going off to college, right? All new friend group, you're gonna feel lonely, so really try to build your network, and these are gonna be the people who help you whenever you need, whenever you want someone to talk to. But you also want to make sure you're real with people, right? You're not being fake just to get some friends, so you're really genuine to building these relationships. But also another thing I want to talk about, you're gonna need to be comfortable being alone. I did just talk about making friends, but a lot of times you're gonna be by yourself, right? Either starting your dorm room, going to dinner by yourself. So just be comfortable, right? Be confident in yourself. Don't always, expect people to be with you all the time. Do, try to build this friend group, but also be comfortable by yourself. Gonna need to figure out transportation, and this is gonna be talking about on campus. So you're gonna need to maybe get a bike or a skateboard or a scooter. It makes you getting to classes so much easier. Also try to figure out if you don't have a car, maybe get a car or rent a car, or maybe figure out how the metro works to, explore the city, right? Another thing I want to talk about is staying clean, making sure your room is always tidy, making sure you clean your bathroom, the floor. Don't be a dirty person, have hygienes. Another thing is staying healthy. That's super important, right? I got sick a lot the first semester because of the stress, having to adapt to this world, right? The homesickness. So make sure you're working out, taking your vitamins, getting enough sleep, at least 8 hours. And also, sometimes you're gonna have to stay up, but as a film student, you really don't have too much work to worry about. So make sure you get enough sleep, make sure you're eating enough, make sure you're eating healthy. And another thing is making sure you're safe, especially going out to public places, right? Have maybe a OC spray. Just be aware of your surrounding, because I go to school in LA, and you know how LA could be sometimes. Spend your whole first month really experiencing the different parts of college life, like campus life. It's so unique, and you really only have it once in your life. Go to football games, go to parties, really experience stuff. Parties is a huge thing with most colleges, so really understand your line. Don't, go to way too many, but don't completely cut out parties, right? You're gonna want to kind of explore a little bit. And I think it's also good as a film student, especially, to really have these experiences, because that's what gives you all these ideas for your films. But also make sure you're not just getting wasted every day, right? This is your prime time. This is some of the best years physical health of your life, so just don't waste it just partying every single day and blacking out every weekend. I know tons of people who did that. Making sure you're also doing a lot of self-improvement. You're reading, you're studying, you're working out, right? You're building the foundations to your future. All right, so this is the first month. These are the things you're gonna be aware of. Oh, also making sure you're dealing with homesickness. You're gonna feel it hit you probably immediately. It hit me super hard, but you eventually get over it in a week or two. Just make sure you're always FaceTiming your parents, right? Like, talk to them, making sure they know you're safe, and tell them how much you love them. And also distract yourself, do a ton of things so you don't have to constantly be thinking about this homesickness. Also, next thing I want to talk about is the academic side, right? This is why you're there. You're trying to learn, making sure you keep a good schedule of all your assignments, know exactly what your different assignments are due. Make like a Google spreadsheet, right? Having the different classes, because they don't tell you like in high school, right? You're not a kid anymore. You're gonna need to know when you're having the exams, when you're having to turn in certain assignments, making sure you keep track of everything, right? Making sure you're setting these alarms on your phones to tell you when your class is so you don't forget. Speaking of your class, make sure you schedule your classes well, right? Don't have it way too early because you're gonna hate yourself for it. I had a few classes that start at 8 in the morning. Some of the most painful things. Making sure you schedule your classes right. Don't do too much in one day, but also having, you know, a free day could be really nice to catch up on homework. Also, you're gonna want to organize your emails. You're gonna have so many things from different departments at your school, the film school opportunities. So making sure everything is organized, right? Having these different like labels on your Gmail. I can make a video on that later on, but it's super important to have the zero inbox thing where you have nothing in your inbox because you've organized everything already. Also making sure, you know, you don't have to take the hardest classes, right? Take some easy classes to boost your GPA. And also don't stress way too much about studying, right? Like, yes, you want to get good grades, but as a film student, like really, like your grades aren't the end of the world, right? If you have a B, right? Don't stress too much about that. But also you do want to keep the good grades, and I think a great way to have these good grades are finding people that motivate you to study, right? Having a good roommate who's always on the grind, always studying, definitely motivated me a ton last semester and the semester before that. So making sure you find your group of people who you can study with, who motivate each other to just be better. Besides getting these good grades, you're gonna be writing a lot of essays as a film student, obviously. You're not gonna do pretty much any math problems, thankfully, but essays are a huge part of going to film school. And don't copy, don't plagiarize, be smart with things, right? Use ChatGPT just to get you ideas or do research with it, but don't copy, because if you do get caught, it is quite bad, and they have like anti-ChatGPT detecting things now. Also, take a look at minors, right? Maybe take a screenwriting, acting, business, branch out. Don't just focus on film, right? Like, this is the time to learn more about the world, and I think that's what makes someone a good filmmaker, someone that knows everything. Also, don't put in way too much effort. I see some people who just spend way too much time on one assignment when they really didn't have to. At USC, you don't own your own film, so I know a lot of classmates who put in the bare minimum of effort. Even our professor kind of told us to do that as well. So just don't stress yourself too bad. So now on the social aspect, you're gonna make sure you want to explore the city, right? Learn the culture of the new place. If it's in your hometown, obviously you're gonna be more comfortable. But for me, living in LA for the first time, it was definitely a huge change. So being able to drive around the city, you know, knowing all the places, knowing the map, the culture, it was really cool to learn more about my surrounding, making the city your own. Also, don't start any drama, right? Be nice to people, never argue with people, because the last thing you want is walking down the street and you see someone that you argued with a few days ago and you like awkwardly try to avoid eye contact, right? So making sure don't start any drama. It's not worth it, right? We're adults now. We're in college. Don't stress too much about dating. I know you're gonna see a lot of people doing that, but just kind of focus on yourself, knowing what time is right for what. Don't hook up. It's not worth it. Just being smart about things, right? Like knowing what you want in life and just taking it nice and slow. I think that's the best thing to do. Don't forget about your friends, your family from back home. Always contact them. Keep up these relationships, because you know, they matter as well. Don't just completely forget about them. And also a big thing is don't compare yourself to other people. You're gonna see people who are better looking than you, smarter than you, richer than you, better than you, right? Like, so just never compare yourself. Everyone has their own problems. Everyone deals with their own issues. So just know you want to improve yourself. So just don't even compare yourself to other people. And you're gonna make sure you want to control your ego. Maybe you're the best filmmaker from your town, but you go to film school, everyone's equally talented. So making sure you control your ego, but also making sure you're confident, right? Don't feel like you don't belong there. Don't feel like you're the worst out of the bunch, because you got there for a reason. You're there for a reason. And I saw this a lot with a lot of my friends in my cohort who just felt like they weren't good enough, but I know they were, you know? So just have confidence in your ability and just know that you're that guy, you know? All right, so now I want to be talking about the film side of college, of film school, right? And that's basically why you go to film school, is to get better at the craft. So number one I want to talk about is don't have too many expectations for the first year, because my first year was all general education, barely any filmmaking. So just don't expect too much and don't get too disappointed once you find out you really don't make too many films. And there's a lot of ways to deal with this actually. So you want to meet basically everyone in the school, and not just people in your major. You want to meet everyone, because I mean, if you meet a marketing major, right, meet business major, they can all help you in the future. So just meet everybody, not just artists, everybody. How do you meet these people, right? You want to DM them, you want to reach out, you want to email people, but also don't just get their Instagram and then dip, right? Truly connect with them, because then you're gonna end up with a ton of people on your phone who you just don't even remember anymore, and they don't remember you. And what's the point of getting their Instagram if they don't really like you, right? So you really form these real friendships with them. It's not about connections, it's about friendships. I think you're gonna want to get close with these upperclassmen, right, the people older than you, because they're the ones who are gonna get you a lot of opportunities to work on better sets, and they're already gonna know a lot of stuff about the school. So definitely get close with them. Get close with your professors, right? They have tons of industry connections, so making sure you're good with your professors, and also not just in your film classes, you know, in your other classes as well, because if you go to, you know, their office hours and they like you, and they might bump up your grade a little bit if you really need to. And it, you know, even if they don't, it can't hurt to have a friend, right? Most importantly, I think get close to the people on your own grade, because everyone is going to be improving at such a high level. So as you grow with these people in the future, they're all going to be as good as you are. So it's really important to have good connections. Don't feel like just because they're in your cohort, they're not as good. They're just as good as anyone else. Making sure you're close with everybody and truly believe that, right? Not just because you want the connections, because you truly want to connect with them and truly want to form these friendships. And you're gonna want to do a lot of smaller roles on film sets to understand how the film set work. You're gonna PA, you're gonna grip, you're gonna script supervise, AC, all that stuff, and just have fun doing it. You don't have to do too much, but definitely you want to do some of it to understand what it's like to work on a semi-professional film set, right? That's why the upperclassmen are super important at USC. The juniors have these thesis films that we work on, the seniors as well. So definitely, you know, make these connections. You go on one set and then you meet people, and then they're gonna bring you to the next set. So ton of great opportunities by working on these smaller sets. And you're gonna wanna learn everything you can about filmmaking, right? Do sound design, color, just say yes to all the opportunities, because you really wanna have a well-rounded approach to filmmaking. Like, yes, you wanna be really good at one thing, but you're gonna wanna be at a professional level of everything else as well, right? You can be such a good, talented director, but if you don't know anything about color, sound design, it doesn't really do you too much good, especially in film school where you're doing so many different tasks. And, you know, it could lead to a lot of great opportunities, being able to be somewhat knowledgeable in every aspects of filmmaking. And another thing you're gonna wanna do is just read a lot of books and watch a lot of movies. This is gonna build up your knowledge. Obviously, you're gonna have your own life experiences, but you know, you also want to know other people's experiences in life as well, and you're gonna broaden your view of the world. You're gonna broaden your knowledge, and that's super important, I think. Also, back to meeting people, another great way is by attending local film festivals. I wish I did that more often. Film festivals are a great way to be inspired and meet a lot of locally talented filmmakers. Maybe they're not from your school, but they're from other schools nearby, right? There's tons of schools in California. I'm sure there's a bunch on the East Coast and everywhere. Also, making sure you write scripts, right? And I'm assuming if you're going to film school, you want to be, you know, a filmmaker, right? So write a ton of scripts, right? Write stories, write everything down, making sure you're recording your life. So you have this like list of ideas. You're gonna want to maybe make a film or two by yourself outside of class. And I think that's a great way to really build up your portfolio to be a lot more professional and have more experiences. I made Miss USC the second semester. A ton of my other friends are also working on their own stuff outside of school, because the school gives you a lot of limitations. So if you do it independently, you can do it your way. Also try to learn about the career opportunities, internships. I think they're super important to do, especially for the summer. For your first year, you're gonna wanna maybe plan out the next 3 years. You're gonna wanna be spontaneous, but also kind of have a goal in mind, understand what you really want to get out of college. And yeah, I hope, you know, these tips have been helpful, and I hope you guys the best of luck in film school. If you guys want to see my experiences at USC, then click this video right here, and I'll see you there. Peace out.